Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Great to have you here today. My name is Mark Bernarelli. I'm a spokesperson in the Office of Communications and Outreach for the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to what is really the seat of law enforcement training for the state of Maryland. Did you pass under all those flags when you came in? All of those flags out front represent countries that have been trained recently here. So we do a lot of international law enforcement training. It's a wonderful staff here, and we're going to have a great graduation here today, even with this coronavirus. What's the coronavirus? I'd like to hug you all, but I'm told we can't do any hugging today. I would ask you if you're able to please stand, and we're going to have the class process in with Sergeant Laughlin. The Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services Honor Guard is coming in, and then we'll be blessed by the national anthem sung by Officer Bianca Sampson.
Sir, I present to you class 2001.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome the DPSCS Honor Guard. They're going to post the colors followed by the national anthem.
Honor Guard, attention! Forward! Forward! Mark time. Halt. One. Halt. Left. Hey. The Honor Guard requests permission to post the colors. Post. Post.
Half left face.
Present. Home.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn
Honor guard. Left. Hey. Forward. Ho.
Flags, half right, face.
Thank you very much, and you may be seated. How about that version of the national anthem? Wasn't that great? Beautiful job. Thank you, Honor Guard. Thank you, Officer Sampson. Thank you, Secretary Green, and to the Governor. They've authorized my contract. Officer Sampson is going to be singing my children to sleep tonight, and Sergeant Laughlin is going to be coming over to help me when they don't do things my way or the highway, right? Thank you for agreeing with that. I appreciate that. Who's here today from more than 100 miles away? Any family members here from more than 100 miles away? How about more than 300 miles away? How about 500 miles away? Oh, look at that. We have a lot of people here from a long distance. Thank you all for coming here today. It's a pleasure to have you here. We really appreciate you being here. This is quite a day for your loved ones, and please feel free to take pictures, and we are just so happy that you're here today. Our Secretary of Public Safety and Correctional Services, you will not find a more dedicated, honorable man who actually lives and breathes corrections and has for 36 years. He started out in local correctional systems in Maryland, in Western Maryland, and Central Maryland, and we were blessed when he was named to be Secretary of this Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. He's a man who believes in second chances, who believes in security and safety, but also believes in rehabilitation and services. You have to have all of that in a public safety setting, and he is an award-winning, honorable man, and I'd ask you to please welcome our Secretary, Mr. Robert L. Green.
Thank you so much for being here. Families, soon-to-be graduates and sworn-in correctional officers of our state, welcome and thank you. These are unusual and extraordinary times. It is a bit disappointing to me that we cannot give you the graduation that we desire and is the tradition in the state of Maryland. But I need you to picture something for me. Had we not been in the situation that we are today, the coronavirus, the need to keep people safe, that element of social distancing, I want you to vision this. This side of the room would have been absolutely filled, and to the back of the room with the leadership, the men and women of this department that all of you are going to be working for. Individuals that have come to celebrate your success and welcome you to the department. I can assure you that with family and guests, this would have been a completely full room. It disappoints me a bit further because this is an extraordinary class. I had the opportunity to meet this class very early on. Santana, and people that stick out, that we talked, we had conversations, we talked about change. 9 countries are represented here today in the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. It's no secret that this was a new recruiting initiative for us to pack up one's life and travel, I believe it's 1,000 miles to come and be a part of this tradition, to become a part of our department. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you doing that. That's something that many of us could not do, and the risk to take in doing so. And we take that seriously. You are part of the family, and having spent some time with you 2 hours ago, wow, we got a family here, right? What has happened with this group, look at the smiles, coming together, friendships and relationships for life. So from me and this department, our apologies that we could not give you what you deserve and you earned in the recognition of this graduation. But I assure you, 9,000, 10,000 members of this department are here with you in spirit, celebrating your success, and through the videos and the pictures that we will have today, we'll share in that success with you. Families, thank you for being here. Thank you for entrusting your loved ones to us. We will not let you down. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'd like to introduce for you folks, the other folks who are up here on the podium, Mr. Mike Ziegler, who is the Deputy Secretary for Operations for the Department of Public Safety. Jane Sachs, who is the head of correctional training for the state of Maryland. Ms. Sasha Vasquez, we're going to hear from her in a moment. She's the head of human resources for the Department of Public Safety. And she hails from Puerto Rico as well. And of course, we heard about Sergeant Laughlin, who also is a pretty good singer, I think, huh? Lieutenant Beard, another key person, and another lady that we're going to be hearing from in a minute. So we're going to save her for a minute. But we're excited to have you all here today, and it's a great class. As the Secretary said, never before have we had 9 countries represented, and certainly not a contingent from Puerto Rico like this. It's a wonderful experience. We have a National Hispanic Scholar in our midst today. Ms. Vasquez, the head of Human Resources for the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. And I really don't want her to come up here because she reminds me of how dumb I am compared to how smart she is. This lady is a brilliant lady. We were so lucky to pluck her from the Comptroller's office in the state of Maryland. She is an attorney. She has 2 bachelor's degrees, advanced degrees, and she is an amazing person when it comes to understanding the flow of how you have to hire people in this climate where public safety agencies nationwide are struggling to hire people. When she was with the Comptroller's office, she reduced by 40% the time that it takes to hire new employees. And she has done the same thing here with public safety and corrections. She's instituted a number of novel and very interesting recruiting efforts. And in 2019, this department hired more uniformed correctional officers than it had in the 2 previous years combined. And that is largely due to her efforts and her team's efforts. She is a very astute person when it comes to understanding how you have to hire people in the world of public safety. She's an attorney and she knows her stuff, and I could go on and on, but I will instead just simply introduce and ask you to welcome the Director of Human Resources for the Department of Public Safety, Ms. Sasha Vasquez.
Thank you for those kind words. A mi gente de Puerto Rico, muchas gracias por venir hasta acá. Sabemos que es un sacrificio grande para ustedes el estar aquí con nosotros, pero lo apreciamos mucho. For my non-Spanish speakers, I just thank the people that travel from Puerto Rico. It's a big sacrifice for many of them to be here, and we thank them for being here today with us and celebrating this great opportunity. So thank you so much. Perdonen el lucimiento, ¿verdad? Excuse my excitement. I feel I'm a member of this class as well, so I'm just going to wear my shirt with pride. So good afternoon, Secretary Green, Executive Leadership, Facility and Academy Leadership that is present today, all members of the DPSCS family, especially those newest members that are joining the ranks today. I am humbled by the opportunity to celebrate your accomplishments. Today, the department celebrates the culmination of a successful pilot recruitment program in Puerto Rico. In December 2018, not even a full month into my position, I pitched this idea and I thought it was gonna go nowhere. Said, hey, let's go to Puerto Rico. I was surprised by the level of enthusiasm and support shown by the executive leadership. And I just created more work for myself and my staff, pretty much double or triple the amount of work. But you know, we always look for opportunities to give back. And this, I think, was one of my opportunities to give back to my community that has given me a lot. And I know that there were a lot of people, this was not handed out to them, they earn it. Each and every step of the way, we just opened the door. I was surprised not only by the level of support from the staff, but my staff already knew that we wanted to revamp the correctional officer experience. And Puerto Rico became the first, not only because it was the first time that we left the continental US to do a recruitment effort, but it became a pilot for many of the initiatives that now we see. We now see orientations, registrations, and interviews as part of our recruitment process that were an idea, a dream, a year ago, but have now become our day-to-day operation for correctional officer recruitment. As you may have guessed it was not hard to find volunteers to go to Puerto Rico for a recruitment process. That was true until I explained that I expected from them 12 hours of work, some cases even more. And there was no time to go to the beach. And then we needed to find people that were truly committed to this cause. So I need to name them because they have been amazing in this process. Ms. Michelle Wingate, she supported us from Towson, making sure that our needs were covered. My Deputy Director, Tara Nelson, Holly Winchester, Dina Blondell, Marlon Johnson, Curtis Smith, Larry Mendez, Corporal Luna, Captain Benesor, Lieutenant Gray, and Sergeant Hope made it all possible, even seamless. The background investigation then took and did their part, inviting you guys back and conducting, with the Academy support, 60 background process in a way that we've never done that before, with people staying over and transportation being arranged as well. Today, the baton has reached its final stop. We passed this baton along, and on mid-January, HR passed that baton to the Academy, where Al Livno and James Sachs' team have knocked it out of the park. With the support from their staff, they've been able to make this class experience a memorable one. And we would like to also thank all those mentors and facility leaderships that have been part of this transition, because it hasn't been easy, but they've done everything in their power to make it as pleasant as possible. So we thank you all, and I think that you deserve an applause for that one. So the baton has reached its final stop as you become full members of the ranks of the Division of Corrections and the Division of Pretrial Services. We have learned a lot in this process, and we look forward together to improving this process even further and maybe starting a new recruitment in the future, again in Puerto Rico. Look around, and you will notice that this is likely one of the most diverse classes ever. There are officers here from Trinidad and Tobago, the Dominican Republic, Bermuda, Cameroon, Bahamas, Nigeria, Ghana, Guatemala, Sierra Leone, and different parts of the United States, including Puerto Rico. These new members of the DPSCS family represent the appreciation we have for diversity in this department. And this diversity is not only racial or ethnic. It also encompasses gender, sexual orientation, and generational diversity. It's all in here. It's all in this room. It's all in this class. This is just like the population of the state that we serve, the state of Maryland. Regardless of the different amongst us, that uniform creates an unbreakable bond. Wear it with pride, respect, and humility. Pride, because you've earned it. No one has given it to you. You've earned it. You've made it farthest than many of the applicants in this process. Respect. When you're wearing that uniform, you don't only represent yourself. You represent each and every member of this institution, including your sisters and brothers in uniform as well. Humility. We are public servants, and we owe our service to the greater good of the residents of the state of Maryland. Regularly at graduation celebration entails warm embraces, tons of handshaking, and the always supportive pat on the back. The current state of affairs discourages for everyone's safety such tokens of appreciation. Thus, my challenge to each and every one of us that is in this room is to not only show our appreciation during the graduation ceremony, this second, this moment, but throughout their career. Let's do that by continuing to feel the warm embrace of the DPSCS family through the camaraderie of their colleagues, the understanding of their families, and the unwavering support of the organization's leadership. Thank you, graduates, for taking this challenge and raising up to the occasion. You have completed today one of the many milestones in the journey of your career within the department. May it be as long and prosperous as you want it to be. Thank you all, and stay safe. We are all public safety.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I did not introduce this young lady earlier because I wanted to say a little bit about her. You know, it's in a class this large, it's might be difficult to think of picking a person to be the representative or the spokesperson. but this young lady was picked because she is extraordinary in an extraordinary class, and I thought she deserved a little bit more of an introduction to that, to the representative. Every class has a representative, and I'm happy to introduce a young lady who's headed to the Baltimore pretrial complex at Jessup, and this is Correctional Officer Tanya Davis. Let's welcome her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Secretary Green, esteemed guests, correctional family, personal family, friends, and of course, the most awesome class ever, Class 2001. I greet you all at this memorable occasion as Class 2001 celebrates the successful completion of the Correctional Academy entrance program. When voted by my peers to give the class speech, I was surprised and humbled. I immediately began to think of a word or phrase that would sum up this entire experience. The word that came to mind was camaraderie. And Secretary Green, you just spoke about that upstairs. Camaraderie, which simply means the gift or the spirit of community within a group. And believe me, this entire class, this large class, is a group. It is a community. Another definition that I read said being on the same side in a struggle against something sometimes threatening, or as well as having shared values and objectives. How spot on was that definition? As we accept the charge to protect the public, its employees, detainees, and inmates of the state of Maryland, Class 2001, let us always remember that we are never alone. We have a family that supports us entirely. We have each other to call on. The sense of community was displayed so many times, so many days throughout our stay here. Whether it was being handcuffed and restrained, defensive tactics with a rubber knife, or being pepper sprayed. That was fun. But we did it together. Some of us even became members of the notorious Scratch Gang. That's a different story for another time. But none of this would be possible without the great correctional leadership here at the Academy with Lieutenant Taylor and Lieutenant Beard, and our wonderful class instructors. Thank you all so much for the knowledge that you poured into us and that you shared with us. But I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge one individual who has embodied the camaraderie spirit. He was pivotal in taking this class from recruits to officers. He is the zenith of advisors. As I told him earlier today, he is the advisor of advisors. That is Sergeant David Laughlin. Because of Sergeant Laughlin, we are ready to take the task ahead to be better officers, better thinkers, better doers, but most importantly, to be better people. I'm not sure what I'll miss most about Sergeant Laughlin. Between the 3-count exercise ready, or one of his many hilarious stories about the Division of Corrections, or the time he took to share poignant personal moments about his life and the blessings that God had bestowed upon him. The bottom line is that we were always captivated by Sergeant Laughlin's candor and strength. I speak for us all when I say we would gladly do this again, but only with Sergeant Laughlin by our side.
All right.
Sergeant Laughlin, we admire you, we respect you, but most of all, we love you. As I prepare to take my seat, I can honestly say that this journey has been like no other. Through the ups and downs, the bumps and bruises, we made it through. But there is so much work to be done. So I say to Class 2001, do it well. I came in alone, but I lead with 44 brothers and sisters. And at this moment, I would like to call upon one of my brothers from Puerto Rico to share his experience at the Correctional Academy class. My brother, Alexander Charias.
Each and every one of us that are here graduating today came as one, and today we leave as a bride. Lots of us had to make a difficult decision of leaving our homes, children, wives, husbands, and other family members and relocate here to Maryland. At the same time that we were leaving our loved ones far away, we began to build another family here at this academy. A family that has to be recognized as full of diversity, due that our class 2001 has members from Africa, Caribbean, and Central America. And every one of us has contributed by taking care of each other. We began our new career path and guide steps with the assistance of many special people, but I have to call out our mentor, Sergeant Laughlin. With his charisma, dedication, experience, belief in us, and also giving words of wisdom, made it possible for us to be here today. And again, we thank you once again, Sergeant Laughlin. At this time, I'd like to express our gratitude also to our family that came from Puerto Rico that do not speak or understand English. Quiero aprovechar este momento para, en representación tanto de mis compañeros como mía, personalmente, para expresar el más sincero agradecimiento y apoyo incondicional, paciencia, entendimiento de nuestros sacrificios y que hoy, al estar aquí ustedes con nosotros, son parte de nuestra meta alcanzada. We, Class 21, appreciate all of our unconditional support from our family members, believe and trust, because today we are here because of you that made it possible for us to achieve our goal. We are the newest members of the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, and please, God bless us all. Have a good afternoon. Buenas noches.
Thank you both very much. I want to hear more about that scratch gang thing. I don't know if you guys want to hear about it. That's wonderful. Sergeant David Laughlin, what do we know about the sergeant? Do we like him?
Yeah.
Come on up and say a few words, Sergeant.
Good afternoon, family, staff. Every time I tried to sit down to write something in reference to this class, I went blank. But every time that I had time to think, I thought of 1,000 things to write. But most of the time that I was thinking, I was driving. So needless to say, I figured since I wasn't driving, and those thoughts would come to me, I would just give it to you as it comes. And as I was sitting here listening to all of the things that you said about me, I just acknowledge and realize that I'm doing exactly what it is that I set out to do. All I ever wanted to do was help people. All that I ever wanted to do was be a difference in someone else's life. You never know what it is that you do for someone else. So therefore, I always try to make sure that what I'm doing is my best. I'm the best because I believe I am. And because of my thoughts and my belief. It's not because I'm better than anyone else. I'm just the best within my mind. Yes. So therefore, it bled out properly. And therefore, it shined on you properly. So I did exactly what it is that I set out to do. I accepted the challenge of the first class of 2020. The first class of this venture and merger that the state had made. I have partaken in a lot of positions for participation with the hiring events, both HR, and I really do admire it. I've been doing this for 23 years, and I've been working for the state of Maryland half of my life. I started when I was 22, and now I'm 44. All right. I've got 20 more years to go. So as long as I continue to do what it is that I believe, and I strongly believe in this, I will leave you with a few things by giving you a quick short story. My dad told me this story about a wise man that was walking upon the land, and he came across a land that appeared to be abandoned and deserted. When he got there, he found a family with a father, a wife, 3 children, and a tired old cow. The wise man asked the father, how do they survive on this land when they have nothing? The wise man. The man told the wise man that they had the cow that produces milk. With the milk, they make cheese. Whatever was left over, they go in town and trade it for other goods. So the cow was what they used to live. As they left the next day, the wise man, told his disciple to go back to the town and push the cow off the cliff. The disciple didn't understand why would he want to do something to some people that just showed them hospitality when that's all that they had. Of course, the disciple obeyed, went back, pushed the cow off the cliff. Several years went by, and the disciple just wasn't able to rest easy to find out exactly what happened to that family after he was ordered to do something so heinous. When he returned back to that town, he found that the land was rich and the people there was living lavish. So he thought that the old people who was there before had to sell the land in order to survive. So he asked someone what happened to the family that was there 2 years ago, and someone pointed him to the man that was actually feasting at the table. He went over to the man and asked him what happened when he was there 2 years ago. The land was just bare and they had nothing. The man explained to him that one night their cow wandered too close to the edge of the cliff and fell. And because the cow had fell and died, they had to find other ways to make a difference in their life. And they realized that they had skills and gifts that they had never tapped upon because they depended solely on the cow. So I ask you this. What is your cow? What is it doing for you? What is it doing to you? And if it's not producing more than what it is that you're worth, push it off the cliff. Because it's not until you become hungry that you realize the ability that you have inside of you. The seed that lives inside of you have always been there. All we've done today here at the Academy is peel back layers to show you what you present, what's living inside of you. So now, as you leave here today, I won't be able to be beside you. I won't be able to lead you. But you will always hear me in the back of your voice, cheering you on, because I'm sure that you are capable of doing it on your own. So just remember, change is good. Maintain your balance. Get rid of that cow, whatever it is that's holding you back. I thank you so much.
If he had followed his heart and he tried to write things down that were good about you when he was driving, you wouldn't have gotten that good story just now. We'd be doing his funeral. That was great. Thank you very much. I want to remind you guys, I know you've heard this before, the Community College of Baltimore County gives you credits for having made it through the academy. If you want to continue your education, you will get more credits, and I strongly encourage you to do that. They're normally here for these graduations. They could not be here today. We are now going to get to the moment where you're going to become official. Normally, folks, we would have them actually pinned with their badges and given a certificate. As the secretary said, given what's going on and with the health situation, we're not able to do that today. But what we're going to do is we're going to recognize each officer individually. When you stand, I ask that you all, after you stand, face your loved ones and acknowledge their presence so they can take your picture facing that way. And please don't be shy. You can come up. Just don't trample anybody. You can come up and take pictures closer if you want to. We're happy to have you come up and take pictures. I'll ask our members, our distinguished guests, to stand here to honor our new officers. And we are going to now introduce this distinguished class. And we will begin with officers who are headed to the Baltimore Pretrial Complex for pretrial detainees in the city of Baltimore. And we begin with a distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Joseph Badles, Jr. Congratulations. A distinguished graduate means that he has achieved 95% or higher grade and has not had any missed classes. Thank you, sir, and congratulations. We also welcome Correctional Dietary Officer Jamie Cordero Rivera. Congratulations. We have another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Maroli Gonzalez Perez. Congratulations. And again, feel free to come up and take pictures, guys. Don't be shy. You can come right up. And I will ask you folks to sit down if you can after you're announced, just so all the folks in the back there can see you. Thank you very much. Correctional Officer Michael Pagon Colon, congratulations, sir. And here comes my singer, Correctional Officer Bianca Sampson, congratulations, Officer Sampson. Oh, and she gets flowers too. Wow. Correctional Officer Nemesis Santana Acevedo, congratulations. This is another distinguished graduate. From the Baltimore Pretrial Complex at Jessup, Maryland, we welcome another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Tanya Davis. She's got 36 people taking a picture. I'm not really sure what's going on. You're taking away from our revenue because we normally charge you $300 a picture. Right, Sarah? About that, okay. From the Central Maryland Correctional Facility, let's welcome another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Abraham Abu. Congratulations, Sarah. Correctional Officer Usman Alawode. Congratulations, sir. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Irseth Samboin Toro. Congratulations. We welcome an officer who is headed to the Clifton T. Perkins Center, which is a hospital for the criminally insane down in the Jessup, Maryland area. We welcome Security Attendant Antoine Martin. Congratulations. Oh, he looked a little embarrassed, but I love that scream. I saw all that scream. That's fantastic. And Security Attendant Tracy Miller, congratulations. From the Dorsey Run Correctional Facility in Jessup, Maryland, we welcome distinguished graduate and we congratulate Correctional Officer Oladopo Oduruga. Congratulations, sir. From the Howard County Department of Corrections, Correctional Officer Jocelyn Ayala Sosa. Congratulations. Also headed to the Howard County area to the Sheriff's Department, Special Police Officer Larry Webster, Jr. Headed to our Jessup Correctional Institution, Correctional Officer Jibril Bangura. Congratulations. We welcome and congratulate Correctional Officer Pabena Demura. Congratulations, sir. Correctional Officer Emmanuel Fondong, congratulations. Headed to another of our prisons in Jessup, the Maryland Correctional Institution at Jessup, we welcome distinguished graduate Correctional Officer Eugene Banksay. Congratulations to Correctional Officer Adareme Faurahime. Headed to our women's prison, the Maryland Correctional Institution for Women in Jessup, we welcome distinguished graduate Correctional Officer Diamaris Luna Sanchez. Correctional Officer Prince Okenwa Isiguzo. Congratulations. And that scream was pretty good too. That's great. Correctional Officer Victor Olayewe. Congratulations. Headed to the Maryland Correctional Training Center in Hagerstown, Maryland, about 45 minutes west of here, is Correctional Dietary Officer Yaneli Arroyo Agosto. We congratulate Correctional Officer Enriquillo Carrasco. And here comes Correctional Officer Alexander Charez again. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Daniel Lopez Almeida. And we welcome and congratulate Correctional Officer Oscar Quiñones Colon. Those folks are all headed to the Maryland Correctional Training Center. We welcome Correctional Officer Ronald Roboso Rivera. Correctional Officer Jean Rivera Aguila. We congratulate Correctional Dietary Officer Gabriel Rodriguez Cintron. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Roberto Sanchez. Headed to the Montgomery County, Maryland Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, let's congratulate distinguished graduate resident specialist Jadelle Fox. Correctional Officer Angela Williams, congratulations. Headed to Patuxent Institution, which is our Department of Public Safety treatment facility in Jessup, Maryland. We congratulate Correctional Officer Juan Fabian Roman. Also headed to Patuxent, Correctional Officer Idowu Alade. We're going to have a competition for cheering at the end of this. I want the three of you guys there. It's going to be a three-way tie. Correctional Officer Idowu Alade, congratulations. Distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Jose Bogran. Congratulations to Correctional Dietary Officer Jose Cintron Luco. Correctional Officer Chimeze Duru. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Eric Hidalgo. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Olawole Olaleme. Another distinguished graduate, Correctional Officer Titus Olawalante. Correctional Officer Stanley Samel Legabe. Congratulations. Headed to the Queen Anne's County, Maryland Detention Center over on the eastern side of the bay, we welcome distinguished graduate Correctional Officer Paul Jones, Jr. And headed out to Cumberland, Maryland, Western Correctional Institution, we welcome and congratulate Correctional Officer Felix Velez Valentin. Stand and give everybody a nice round of applause. If you folks would all stand, we can give you a nice round of applause. Thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure to have you, family members. You may be seated for a moment. And now comes the time when these officers become official. And this is another picture opportunity for you guys. These jobs are very honorable and they're very important. And we can measure the importance in part by the fact that they have to take an oath of office to take this job. When you think about in the United States of America who takes an oath of office, some very important people take an oath of office. The President of the United States takes an oath, attorneys take an oath, people who testify in court take an oath, lawyers take an oath, doctors take an oath, and these folks today will take an oath to defend and protect the citizens of the state of Maryland. And that shows you how important this job is. And I'll call on Lieutenant Beard to come up and administer this very sacred moment of the taking of the oath.
Before we get started with the oath, I just wanted to recognize two individuals in the class. This gentleman has been a class leader for the last 37 days and definitely has made our job as instructors and supervisors a little bit easier. Officer Jones, stand up for me, please. And as Academy Supervisor, one of the Academy Supervisors here, I've been here off and on for several years, and I have yet to see what has been accomplished in this class. And this gentleman had an average of 100%, meaning he did not miss one question on all 13 live tests. And that's an accomplishment. I'll throw it to Class 2001, are you ready?
Sir, yes, sir.
Please stand, removing all items from your hand.
Aye, sir.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and individually state your name.
I, Joseph Beaton Jr.
I, Jaime Cordero Jr.
I, Marilyn Gonzalez Perez.
I, Michael Pagan Cullen.
I, Bianca Sampson.
I, Nemesis Sultana Acevedo.
I, Ibrahim Abu. I, Alauddin Usman.
I, Irisal Samolin.
I, Eugene Banksy.
I, Emmanuel Fondo.
I, Kwame Duma.
I, Chitni Bambua.
I, Larry Webster Jr.
I, Jocelyn Ayala Sosa.
I, Odununga Oladapo.
I, Tracy Miller.
I, Antoine Martin.
I, Foreign Adiremi.
I, Gladys Luna.
I, Prince Okewa Senguzo. I, Victor Olaleye.
I, Janelia Arroyo Gosto.
I, Enriquillo Carrasco.
I, Alexander Charia.
I, Daniel Lopez Almeida. I, Oscar Quiñones Colón. I, Jose Bobre. I, Guido Alarin. I, Juan Carlos Valladolid.
I, Angela Williams. I, Gabriel Fox.
I, Roberto Sanchez.
I, Gabriel Rodriguez Cintron. I, Daniel Aida.
I, Ronald Rebozo Rivera.
I, Jose Filtrón Lugo. I, Chumese Julu. I, Eric Hidalgo.
I, Oluwole Molalemi.
I, Titus Oluwalade. I, Stanley Samuel.
I, Paul Jones.
I, Felix Rivera Valentin.
I, Sonia Davis.
Do solemnly swear and affirm
Do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Maryland.
and the Constitution of the State of Maryland.
I further swear and affirm
I further swear and affirm
that I will adhere to the standards of conduct
that I will adhere to the standards of conduct
of the Department of Public Safety
of the Department of Public Safety
and local correctional agencies.
and local correctional agencies.
I shall,
I
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
discharge all duties
discharge all duties
and responsibilities required of me
and responsibilities required of me
as a correctional professional,
as a correctional professional,
executing the orders of superior officers
executing the orders of superior officers
without prejudice or malice.
without prejudice or malice.
If so, Class 2001, answer, I do.
I do.
Congratulations again. Thank you.
Aye, sir.
How you feel now, folks? You feeling good now? They're official. That's great. I would like to call on the Director of Correctional Training for the State of Maryland, Ms. Jane Sachs, to come up and give us some final words of encouragement.
Good afternoon. I have to say, when I saw you all marching, I've never seen you in your Class A's. That was chilling. You just all really looked great and did such an amazing job. I feel the need today to deviate from my traditional closing remarks for numerous reasons. The first is because I am so very proud of this class. It sort of feels like my own kids. That's kind of how I feel. It was a long road from the first day. It feels like that was yesterday, and it also feels like it was years ago. There were a lot of issues in the very beginning, and you all met every single challenge. I had some grave concern about how many would actually graduate in the first couple of days. The fact that we lost just a few students is a testament to how hard each and every one of you worked to get this. You all came together as a group and supported each other in ways I've never really seen before. There were many challenges, cultural, language, skills, but you never let those challenges get in your way and become barriers. The students from Puerto Rico also had to find housing and transportation during these 8 weeks, and they were all successful in that major accomplishment. I want to thank all the mentors. I don't know if any of them could come today, but people came on the weekends to help out, took people to see places and to help them find places to live. Secondly, the health crisis that we're all facing today has interfered with our graduation, as we intended to make this a very large celebration, as the Secretary said. And for me, what I'm the most sorry about is I can't give every one of you a great big hug. But I'm going to come around to all your facilities and do that. That's my promise. What keeps running through my mind the last week or two is the word courage. It's going to take courage to get to the next few months for all of us. I have no doubt that this class has that courage because they've already demonstrated it. It takes a lot of courage to pick up and leave your home and move hundreds or thousands of miles away with very little support system. It also takes courage to raise your hand to do this job. It takes courage to go to work every day and hold your head up high and be prideful of who we are and what we do. We are a very courageous group of people, and I'm proud to be part of it. There are a few things I want you to remember as you move into your new careers. The first one is to stay true to your training. You told me how much you learned from these wonderful instructors and how grateful you were. Keep that close to you. They are available. They would love to hear from you. So no matter how hard it gets, remember what you marched when you came, as you're marching what you came in and said. And it's going to be hard. You're going to want to deviate, but keep that in mind. The second one is to take care of yourself. Stay healthy and well in both body and mind. Find something other than work that you love and also make it a priority. I want to leave you with 2 quotes today. The first one is, the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. That's a quote from B.B. King. And the second one is, you will need 3 things in this career to be successful: a wishbone, a backbone, and a front bone. Good luck and stay safe. I have one other thing before closing the ceremony. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the instructors who are so incredibly committed to all of you, and in one word, we're just awesome. But there's one individual who was not only the glue, but also the heart and soul that held this class together. And you all shared that with me this morning, and that's Lieutenant Richard Beard. Lieutenant Beard worked nights and weekends. He came in when he was beyond tired. He took students to appointments. He helped them find housing. He gave them advice on cars. He even shared his own personal car mechanic. Some of us want to do that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of all that he did. He stretched way beyond what was expected, and he deserves a lot of credit for all his success. Please join me in a round of applause.
Godspeed to all of you. God bless your family members. Thank you for being here, and I will call upon Sergeant Laughlin to, for the last time, dismiss his class.
Class 2001, on your feet.
Aye, sir.
Diversity.
Our unity.
Unity.
Our strength.
Right face. Class 2001, for the last time, you are dismissed.
Aye, sir. Dismissed.
Thank you all very much for being here. Safe travels home.